received as being popular to get where you are, to get where you have to be.
Come on in, down to just a tight shot. You once told me that you were extremely proud of the fact that you were the highest paid, most well-known wrestler in the world. Rick, everyone knows that wrestling is a big business today. Are you still at the top?
Yes, I'd say even more so now. From the wrestling aspect, I'll still put my W2 on the table against anybody. I'm sure that the National Wrestling Alliance and Jim Crockett Promotions pay the World Heavyweight Champion the best fee that can be made by any wrestler. I'm talking strictly for wrestling.
July the
2nd. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the notoriety in our sport, for me as well as every other established star, has just gotten bigger with the cable systems and the publicity now all around the world that we are, and I include a lot of other wrestlers, we are the most recognized sports celebrities in the world.
July the 2nd. You come to Washington, D.C. It will be really the first time you'll be in the main building in the Cap Center.
Cap Center.
Obviously, you have to come in there. People are going to be saying, oh, this is where Flair's going to lose his title.
Well, people say that a lot about major sporting events that Ric Flair is involved in. The Cap Center, we've been planning on coming there for a long time. We're looking forward to our date there. It's one of the most popular wrestling arenas anywhere in the world, and regardless of who I wrestle, Ric Flair will be there 120%, and just that he has done in the past, George Michael, he will show the crowd why firsthand he is the greatest wrestler alive today.
It's a shame he doesn't give me a closing line. It's a shame he doesn't understand television. Damn it. Jim, you got to teach him television. Is Moyes okay? Oh, that doesn't matter at all. I got to go this side, and it's just him, just a talking head. Mike, Ricky Steamboat talking about leaving I know you don't like the question, but I got it. All right. What happens if you decide to leave the WWF to go to the NWA?
Well, first of all, my contract came to an end, a 2-year contract that I signed with the WWF. But also, I felt that it was time for me to go after the NWA because I feel, to go to the NWA, excuse me, I feel that the NWA has out and out the best and purest form of wrestling, and that's what I'm all about. I think having an amateur background at Syracuse University, I came up through the amateur ranks, and going after a wrestler that I feel like the quality of Ric Flair, a pure out-and-out wrestling machine, I want a shot at that title, and that's what I'm doing in the NWA.
Mike, that was the next thing I was going to ask you. Your former tag team partner is getting a shot at Ric Flair. Is your day going to come?
Well, I sure hope so. Right now, I'm holding the Florida heavyweight title, and in the past, it's been a stepping stone toward a shot at Ric Flair. You have champions like Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes, and they've all been Florida heavyweight champions, and Jack Briscoe. They've gone on to be world heavyweight champions, NWA. So that's what I'm here. I have to defend that belt each and every time I go out after it. And, you know, you have to pay the price to have a shot at Ric Flair because of the quality wrestler he is, and hopefully I'll get my chance and take that title someday.
There are wrestlers coming into this tag team tournament who have worldwide reputation. I would imagine that while you have the individual goal of the heavyweight championship, that this has got to be a little extra special.
It is a little extra special because you're talking about $1 million prize to the winner. And anytime you're talking about that kind of money, you're talking about some awesome individuals and going head-to-head, and that's exactly what's going to happen here right now. Tim Horner and myself are going into the tournament unseeded, but I've been in that position a few times before, and sometimes you can take some people by surprise, and hopefully we'll walk away with that $1 million.
Yeah. Bob? Okay. Introduce me.
Big Bubba Rogers, my personal bodyguard.
What do you need a bodyguard for?
Oh, you never know.
Let's
I'm
go.
having a limit.
What? Don't say that. Come on, this is network.
We're not on the air, though, are we?
No, but
Oh, God, no.
it's coming. Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
In 15 seconds or less, tell me why you have the best tag team in America.
I have the best tag team in America because they're twin sons of different mothers, synchronized motion. They are the greatest tag team that's ever stepped in the wrestling ring, the greatest tag team that ever will step in the wrestling ring, just because they are indeed the best.
Well, then they got to win $1 million here.
They're going to win $1 million. It's coming up. Just lead us to the ring, get us the opponents, and we're going to win $1 million. That's it.
Lou, you don't need to do any more than that. Play off of that right into them. Okay. Would it be fair of me to say that you just walking in here like this is something that people said wasn't going to happen?
It would be a very positive statement. About 6 months ago, I had a very important doctor looking over at me as I was laying on a bed flat on my back, telling me that I was going to be a quadriplegic for the rest of my life. And yeah, I would say right now I've probably proven all the medical geniuses that they were wrong.
You've had a lot of great bouts in the ring. I can think of a few. You know, of course, you met all the names, Flair and whatnot. What has been running through your mind through all these months to get you where you walk in here tonight?
Well, I look at life as a series of challenges. As I was a young boy, I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and I went through the amateur ranks and built myself up, and that was a great challenge to finally become a professional, much less reach the heights that I did in professional wrestling, being a #1 contender for the world's heavyweight title. But as this happened to me, rather than looking at it as some disastrous thing and saying, woe is me, why did this happen to me, it kind of struck me as a challenge that I'd had thrown my way. Because immediately as I saw the impact that my injury had on the wrestling world and people that weren't even involved in professional wrestling, I realized that there was people out there looking up to me and the things that I've accomplished and done. They were paying attention to this very crucial time in my life. And I said, if I can beat this thing, beat these odds, people out there are going to see me in a whole new light, and maybe they're going to see their own lives and their own troubles in a different light, and maybe I can be an inspiration to people in a whole different realm now than I've ever been before while I was in all those bouts in the ring.
One bite. You ready? How big in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore market, how big is the business of wrestling today?
It's phenomenal, George. Just in Baltimore alone, notwithstanding Washington, we're here once a month, and our competitors have been here once a month for years, and we're doing capacity business. In Washington, as you know, we've done big business at the Armory. The Capitol Center has also done big business, and we're going to be in the Capitol Center July 2nd. The Baltimore-Washington area right now is hopping for wrestling, as are many parts of the country, and we're thrilled about it.
Boom. Paul, I'm going to need you to step up, and don't worry about getting in front of me, okay? There are tag teams, and then there are the Road Warriors. Paul, this is more than a tag team.
We're looking, George, at the greatest team of all time, the greatest team of our time. Right now, we stand at the epitome. We stand on top of the pile, and all the other wrestlers, all the other teams are just members of the rank and file. You're looking at two men who lift enormous poundages every day. Two men that every time they go into the ring, they're the most feared team in professional wrestling today. The Animal, the Hawk, the epitome of what wrestling is today.
And if you were behind the Animal and the Hawk, you would not mind standing behind and instead of front of. Paul, I have another question for you. It appears to me that it has become a point in time where the Road Warriors have gone beyond wrestling. This is now a major business with them.
Well, of course, wrestling is big business. Wrestling's the biggest business in the world. The biggest sporting event ever held was in wrestling.
But the Warriors, bigger than anything.
I was getting to that.
I'm sorry.
The Legion of Doom stands alone. The Road Warriors are the greatest sports attraction in wrestling today. No team, no individual. Wrestling is the Road Warriors. We are #1.
We're easy to remember. We're the team that keeps doctors in business. If anybody loves us, it's doctors, because we're always sending them business.
Gentlemen.
All right.